Well, we're here.
Yay!
We can hear. You're here. Let's stay here.
It's a
and
new
tell a
year.
story here. It's a new year.
Yes.
I don't have beer.
But have no fear.
I have much fear.
That's my secret. I have constant fear.
My secret. I'm always afraid.
Welcome to... Oh, just... Oh. You know, this is the most frustrating... I think I've commented this before, but the most frustrating thing about this that I've seen so far is, you know, I got into the 1990s, the Berlin Wall came down, the Russians were suddenly our friends, and everyone in my generation went, whew! That's the end of existential dread. We're fine. Probably the last generation that has to put up with living under this aspect of being just doomed. Yeah, lols.
So, what you're telling me is, in fact, you jinxed us. Because when you say things like that, it's going to happen. Existential dread.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Happy New Year.
It's exciting.
I'm not sure what to make of it, honestly. I'm part of me desperately wants to be optimistic, and part of me says, excuse me, we just had this conversation about 1980, didn't we?
I have chosen to be cautiously neutral.
I think it's probably
and as long as you
the path
remain
of
cautiously
sanity.
neutral, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to be okay. It's like having a cheese sandwich, and then if someone toasts it, then you've got a net gain. But if not, then you've got a cheese sandwich, and they're tasty anyway.
I'm interested as to what uncautiously neutral sounds like.
I mean, I just described the sandwich.
Out of my
I'm
way,
confused.
I'm neutral.
Get out of my way, I feel nothing.
Wildly, boldly neutral.
It's Aaron
I'm
Burke.
boldly neutral.
Yeah.
Boldly neutralizing where no one has neutralized.
You end up getting...
Star Trek from the Romulan perspective? What's that? Sorry. Go ahead, Jamie. I apologize.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you're uncautiously neutral, you end up shooting a founding father in New Jersey. And
That's true.
you make a musical about it years after you're dead.
To be fair, for things to get better, we really just need to get through the year and have things like literally not be quite so much on fire.
Yeah,
And that's probably still a step up from last year. So
I actually feel like we've got a net gain because we're not entirely on fire.
Not currently literally on fire.
I can breathe. So I feel like I'm winning on last year already. Like it's actually...
That's right, because
breathable.
The section,
But I'm
section
not
of
going to feel too good about it because I have to be neutral.
particularly for Australia, like if a section the size of the UK doesn't go up in flame, we've started better.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that's right, because by this time last year, you guys had already gotten into wildfire season, hadn't you?
Yeah, remember when that was supposed to be the big story of the year?
Last year we had 21 million hectares or something stupid like that burned already.
Yeah, we were
that's
3
when we
months into
started.
wildfire season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or 3 months
All
in,
right.
and now it's just raining and cold.
Yeah, that's weird too, though.
Yeah. it is.
Yeah.
Like, why is it cold? It's summer, I'm confused.
Wait till winter, it'll be hot.
I mean, it's not cold for me.
You're in Brisbane. You don't deserve cold. You haven't earned it.
I was just going to say that actually answers a
How
question
dare.
I was wondering about. That actually answers a question I was wondering about. Because there's a exceedingly weird weather event going on right now called an El Nino, not El Nino, but El Nino.
Yes.
And it's essentially a temperature inversion to what the normals are for the South Pacific. And I was wondering what that did to Australia, because all of that weirdly placed water that ought to be off Argentina right now is sitting firmly off the coast of Australia. So
It's
okay,
very
that's
wet
what
right now.
that's what
Yeah,
it
we've
it's
is.
had
been
more
raining
rain.
consistently.
We've had more rain in the past, or for 2020, than we have in 20 years. I think like in terms of like the wettest year, we haven't had a year this wet since 20 years ago. So it ends up just being like a monsoonal, really. It's humid. It's cooler in Sydney than we're getting temperatures 20 degrees cooler than what we normally get this time of year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brisbane will just be wetter in general. It'll be still tropical and monsoonal. So they'll get cyclones. They'll get more frequent cyclones up that way. But
Get
down
out.
south in Tasmania, I know, it's all fun and games in Australia. We're either burning or we're drowning.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing my thesis. Finally, it's relevant. Last year, everyone was like, well, why? We don't need your thesis now. Everything's burning. And I'm like, yeah, but it'll flood eventually. It will, I promise.
Wow.
And then you'll need me.
We'll just call you Cassandra and be done with it, eh?
That's a reference.
Oh, Cassandra, she told the truth, but no one believed her.
Oh, right. That one. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I think Alexandria might be Cassandra. She tells the truth. People ask the question. She answers with the truth.
Yeah, they do believe her, though. I mean, but there is
They don't believe her.
there is a stark difference between. Holy shit!
That's the whole
There is
point.
a
They don't
difference
believe her.
between saying "I believe you" and "I believe you're telling the truth."
But like the number, we've reached the point now where Spider's just like, yeah, but I'm gonna look to Chevalier to answer the question. Chevalier, you tell me the answer because I.
Maybe the song is Cassandra.
Chantel fixedly looking off screen.
You kind of
All
also discover
right.
that your deity is someone else's oracle. You're like, I have questions. I don't think you're the one to answer them.
Not only that, I can only answer in yes. I can only get yes/no answers anyway.
I'm really waiting for one of the answers to come back as like it has to be yes no, and you still get like a maybe. It's like
Yes,
don't-
no.
Yeah, you got a
Ask
yes
again
and no.
later.
yeah.
Like,
I've never had a yes and a no. It's one or the other. It's binary.
oh, I thought last time we had like a maybe or a yes no thing.
That was the scholar.
Oh, okay.
We did have a question to the song that was answered with a yes.
Yeah, the catch is you know, as I've pointed out before, is that the quality of your questions determines the quality of your answers. And Alexandria seems to be incredibly good at asking questions which provide the answer she wants to hear.
I mean, not always.
There we go. Get
Part of
some
me
points
is,
and prescient.
it's kind of glad.
No, but they're
like,
so dangerous though, because if you fail that roll. Yeah.
Yes. If you trigger prescience, it's not that nothing happens. It's just what you see is not reliable.
Yeah. And
What's
she
the-
won't know because that's like if you fail the roll, the character doesn't know that you failed the roll. You just failed the roll.
Like
Dangerous.
I
It depends how proud your character is.
yeah, I was just gonna say I would
uh,
probably. I'd have to double check how the actual power is defined, but I can imagine some circumstances where the quote crystal ball fails to clear or something. But I can also just as easily see, depending on the nature of the character, where a failed roll is more that the information is so vague as to be misleading. You know.
And Alexandra is the sort of character who would take whatever the song says as, oh yeah, this is actually how it is now.
Yeah.
Whatever she understands from it, she takes from it. That's it. She's done. She doesn't
So this
question
is
it
how
any
we
further.
create Cassandra.
All right. So speaking, so how about we actually try and give this a go at playing and stuff? Now that we seem to have not fallen over in the past 5 minutes. Yeah. So let's do that. So Chevalier, why don't you lead off with a brief recap of events?
Well, we have begun to recover from our conflict with Genevieve. though I do not expect that to be a quick process. Alexandre was able to heal some of Lucas's injuries, and then we returned to the temple district to answer some questions that Alexandre and I had. Mr. Kilcare had business elsewhere in the city, but, well, we don't know what that is. Well, I don't know what that is just yet.
All right. Lucas, your thoughts on recent events?
Well, I was incredibly injured. Alexandre, well, no, Lamsium was there at the end, came to save the day, and got great, notice for it, because Ramiki gave him a kiss on the cheek for saving the day. He turned up at the end and handed everyone a drink. That was about it.
I'm sorry, I completely forgot that's how Lucas interpreted that situation, and I'm just reliving it now and having such a good time.
And we went to the Beggar's Temple. The music stopped, which for one, I didn't really notice that there was any music just in the background anyway, but then this moment did highlight the fact that, yes, I've been listening to the song all along. Hey, who'd have thunk it? And went home. Alexandre healed up all my wounds. I coughed up a lot of lung. A lot of lung. Apparently, whatever she did to me causes all of my organs to regrow. Next thing, I'm imagining a flock of geese to fly out of my ass or something. I don't know.
He's been waiting all week to use that line.
I have been all week. And I'm quite proud of myself for doing that, but I shouldn't actually congratulate myself because the point of it is to do it without saying anything. All right. And it's like, huzzah. And what else happened? It was, I had a little chat with my brother about what just happened and whether or not, and I had a chat to Alexandre, found out that the song can be taken away, which is quite an interesting thing. Now I'm sat alone in my room, still injured, while everybody is out doing errands.
Right. All right, then. And Alexandre, your thoughts on recent events?
So, apparently, Ramiki is not magical. Nor does she have any ability to use magic. So, who used magic?
I'm just going to say, so that lends some awkward questions, doesn't it?
Yes, I have questions. Also, Lucas was very hurt, and I helped him, which is good of me. I did it. He doesn't seem to like that he's regrowing lungs, but you know what? It's better than no lungs, so... Those were options. What else happened? Apparently the song can be taken away from me. Which tells me one thing. That I need to find whoever wants to take the song away and kill them.
I'd like to point out that a long time ago, about 3 months in game time, someone was very, very against the idea of ever having to do harm intentionally. Now I will kill them!
Yes. Well, look, there's a difference between pacifism and zealousness. And La Chanson asked me to do something. I can't do something if La Chanson is taken away. So, I mean, how else am I supposed to deal with that situation?
Is this the Mrs. Umbridge origin story?
So many ways! So many!
Likening my character to someone else. So now we are in a temple to the god of knowledge, and Chevalier asked questions, but I also asked questions, one of which is someone watching me at the moment? And the answer was no. So I know that for right now, I'm not being watched. And I think the scholar is right. I think that's something I'm going to want to know more often. Because now that I know someone might be watching me, it feels weird. I don't want people to just watch me. I want to choose when people watch me. Most of the time.
All right. It seemed okay, and Jasper.
Mate.
How have you been lately?
Hey, I got this fancy new coat. I am minted.
Living the good life, eh?
That's it.
So
I know
what
how
else
to
is
spend my money.
what else is news?
Well, we're going into the Underdark, or wait, there's a different word for it. The
Underveld.
Underveld?
Yes.
Nice.
I'll
How
put the
many
actual
umlauts in Underveld?
It's actually there aren't any because I hate them with a passion. So one sec, I'll get the proper spelling up now that my machine is done uncrashing itself. I was about to declare the day a loss, but my gaming machine that I've got all the notes and stuff just stopped responding for a moment. You're kidding me. No, everything's back now. So just one sec. I need to grab the appropriate document here. I thought I put that up on the oh goodness gracious!
You have?
I thought I had put it up on the World Anvil site. I can't find it there, so I know where I have it as a text document. I'm just getting it open now. Open location. Thank you. Play notes. There we are. And here we are. And it is, again, one of those things the Night Elves tend to do, literal translations, as it were. Here we are. There we are.
The Wonderveld.
Yes.
Wonderveld.
Yes.
It sounds like Skyrim.
Oh, really? It's not intentional. It's just, that's, again, me using my syllable munging system. But that's interesting it did that.
You are muted.
I am muted?
I am muted.
Oh, he is muted, yes. Okay.
I was saying it translates as the place of one deer.
Wonderveld. Wonderveld.
Yes.
Whoa.
The catch, no, and that doesn't sound very interesting until you understand that deer is actually the Ebon Elf word for dragon.
Cannon.
Say that.
It's like, haha, you were worried about the illusion-wielding vampires.
No, we should be worried about
dragon in
venison.
front of you. Oh, wait, you didn't finish, Jamie.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? You did.
There was so little to say. Because a wondrous coat speaks 1,000 words.
Where did you get this wondrous coat from?
What, did
Went
you just
shopping.
miss the whole part of the episode at the end?
I did.
I remember when he had a super secret task, and he's like, "I'm going to go do stuff," and that stuff was shopping.
Oh, yeah. Shopping.
Well, yes, but shopping with people that he'd probably not want to have, Lucas along to chat with.
Had to go meet his criminal contact to buy nice clothes.
Alexandria wasn't involved in the shopping, so I think it was just stricken from memory.
Shopping that Alexandria doesn't see doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. If I didn't do it, it's not real. Picks.
Sounds about right.
Clothes or it didn't happen.
If a spider shops in the city, but in Alexandria doesn't see it, does it exist?
Thank you, philosopher.
So, what are you folks up to then? It's
I mean, I'm now concerned that Alexandra's going to get pissy that she doesn't have new clothes, but
Doesn't know yet. It's fine.
yeah, you're
It's fine
safe for the next few
like, I don't
minutes.
know, 10 minutes.
We do need to do an Underveld shopping montage.
Well,
We
keep
gotta
in
get all the
mind.
full
Veld to
session
do that.
dedicated to it in character. One of those two.
Well, keep in mind too. Part of the reason that you guys, that Alexandri was so keened up was because of Aquidian's description of the Ebon Elf cultural celebration on the 13th of Imloth. The huge concert by the Sea of Stars and all that stuff, and Alexandria was absolutely beside herself with the idea of getting to see all of that. So that had been part of the motivation, right? So I can completely see the requirement for a new high society gown if you're going to be going to a concert and things like that. So there, yes, absolutely.
I mean, the last one got destroyed, so yeah, that sounds pretty good. Also, whose birthday is next?
I'd imagine it's mine.
That's a fancy question.
It's not
I assume we're
yours.
talking in character.
You were first. Yeah, I'm talking in character. But I know that you plotted birthdays into that calendar, and I want to know who's next.
I think mine arguably happened either just before we started or just after. So
Because I know someone's in Imlof.
Well, let's
If I would
let's
find
look.
a birthday, I am
Is it
not
me?
familiar with it.
Am I talking about my own birthday right now? Are they holding...
Okay, I had it as the
no,
9th of
someone-
there's a
Yidisur.
timeline that I imagine has birthdays.
It's only 3 years.
I know we...
Lucas.
Maybe
is
it's not this-
Ilas. Jasper is Nilasa. Alexandre is Minerdri.
Minerdi.
Yeah, there is actually dates. Yeah, you're right. I do.
Chevalier,
Yeah.
wait.
Chevalier is arguably Indel.
Yeah.
So wait. We're in Imlof now?
Officially, it is the 9th. That's what I'm. It's Yidjazir. I'm just actually. That's actually I was just checking because I haven't actually advanced the calendar, and a couple of actual days mechanically have gone by. So I was just wait a seconding for a moment, just double checking that I've got the things aren't too
we-
Let's
hosed here.
skip to Minerdi when it's my birthday. Skip to my birthday. It'll be
We
fine.
just stay
Well-
here until it's Alexandria's birthday.
So the 9th.
ready for a party.
9th.
But the
And
next
then-
would be Jasper's.
Yeah, I think it should be around
on
the 12th by this
17th
point.
of Nilasa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's skip
Yeah.
that part then. Let's get through that
Yeah.
quick. You went shopping without me. You're dead to me.
God.
Didn't tell me
Alright.
we needed shopping done.
I always need shopping done.
So yes, okay, so it's
Really,
the
and it's not
12th.
so much a need as it is a insatiable desire.
Need the chevalier.
Oh gosh. All
it's funny because Chantel hates shopping.
No, she doesn't.
Like, legit, actually. I never go to the shops. I will buy things online. I will never walk into
That
the
is
store.
still shopping, Chantel.
I get it done. I'm like, okay, done. See something
You
I
wouldn't
like,
do
bought
it if
done.
you didn't enjoy it.
No, I buy it because I need it.
Yeah, shopping
Clothes
is
wear
not
out.
Makeup.
Oh, but that's different. That's not clothes. I said clothes.
I mean, there's an argument to say you don't need clothes either.
or
Just leave his thing alone.
Twitch, prepare
and oh
yourself.
god, terms and services.
Did someone say drop
Exactly.
your oyster?
Great oh man, great moustache nose. There is a difference between buying and shopping, Drew.
Like fetching things online.
Yes. Yes. That is exactly it.
I buy.
All
it.
right.
Anyway.
Yes. So,
Chevalier and Alexandre are at a temple. That's where we are.
We were. I think we'd finished with the God of Knowledge's temple.
yeah, you guys. Yes, we'd left you folk up on Saints Row, as it were, having chatted a bit. Alexandre had wandered up and down Saints Row, experimenting with positional audio, as it were, and making some unsettling discoveries. Chevalier had chatted.
Oh, sorry. You finish.
Chevalier had chatted with one of the scholars and had found a few things out. And I think you guys, the last as I recall, you guys were trotting generally back in the direction of the inn.
We were going to. I did want to pop into the Beggar's Temple just to check if there was.
Oh, right, yes,
I wrote
yes.
The name,
yes.
and I've already forgotten. The God of Druids. If the Beggar's Temple had like someone from.
All right, so the Beggar's Temple once upon a time was So the Beggar's Temple once upon a time was probably an open air theater, is what you sort of an early incarnation of the globe, if you will, that had been converted over to. So all around its outer perimeter, when that circle area, there are a whole bunch of individual shrines, and practically every quote good aligned, if you want to use that description, saint or god, goddess that doesn't have the prime divinity, all of the prime divinities and all of the ascended saints who aren't on Saints Row have got at least a small shrine here where individuals who are, of faith, come to worship. There are an awful lot of people sleeping here, by the way. When you guys come in, there are mats and personal effects sort of tossed all over the place. There is a smell of a fairly hearty and spicy stew being cooked. There's also a pretty sharp-smelling coffee's not the right word, and neither is tea. It's an infusion of some kind, and you can see folk. There's a dwarf on a soapbox who's in the process of ladling out stew for somebody. Beside him is literally a disheveled looking elf with an eye patch who's in the process of ladling out the coffee / tea stuff. It's probably more like a mulled tea, I guess, is probably going to be the best description for what it is that's being passed out as a drink. And then, so there's probably 24 people sitting around. They've got their little space, not quite Les Nessman walls, but they've got, a bedroll laid out, and they're sitting on it and eating their breakfast or whatever. It's relatively early in the morning, as I recall. And this a cup of steaming whatever that is, and a bowl of, like I say, a spicy smelling stew. but they're all sort of to the middle of the big open space, and then there's an area left around the outside edge near all where the shrines are, so that people can easily walk around the outside edge to get to whatever shrine it is. There are a couple of other shrines here which are interestingly enough to the fiends. They're pretty obvious which ones they are. So yes, there is a shrine here for the druids. So
weird for the fiends to have representation, or is that like in a place which is representing everyone? You'd be like, yeah,
let's do it.
Include them.
This would absolutely be unheard of in Shining Capital, I guess, is the best answer I can give you.
Does it look used?
But hang on a second. Let me just double check. I just want to double check a name so that what I'm saying here makes some sense. Theology, fiends. Yeah. So it's going to be. There are, in fact, as I said, 2 of them. And I'll put the names for who they are into the Twitch stream. And the other one is
She said, they said.
Say she shy.
Now, Alvaroth probably makes a certain amount of sense, because if you don't want them visiting, you try to appease. And often, if you actually either of you two want to make a learning check really quick, you probably can figure out sort of the detailing on these two.
I do.
16.
And
34.
Oof. I was just going to say, at the point it was taking you that long to do the math, I suspected it was a relatively large number.
If this is about the Mistress of Desire, Alexandrine knows something. I don't know. I don't care what it is. She knows something.
Finds out the use for Chevelle.
So, the Mistress of Plagues is, the thing that it is. You absolutely do not want this particular fiend dropping by for a casual visit under any circumstance, and so there are, in fact, I think Chevalier would be aware that while it's sort of under the rug in Shining Capital, there is in fact a sect of worshippers who literally view their perspective of worship as appeasement to avoid a visit. They're not trying to encourage the Mistress of Plagues. They're trying to discourage her by doing good worship, if you will. There is always an element of the suffering of a few is better than a plague across a city. There's some kind of
like, no. It's like you're calling the manager, being like, no, I got this. It's fine. I can handle it. You don't need to come in. Yeah. Look, there's definitely plague. That guy's sick. Don't worry about it.
Yes, exactly.
So the priests of the Mistress of Desire are the weirdest prostitutes.
No. She is not desire in the sexual sense. She is desire in the denial sense. It is all of the things in the world you cannot have.
Holding cupcakes.
Interesting.
Really
yes. So
yummy
the things that you can't have but want, the object of your affection who ignores you, the heat of a night alone, the longing for completion denied. This is where she reigns. She is all of the
stuff
negative.
I'm not giving to people. It's fine. We got this.
Is it she just has on a tray the one thing that each person wants that they can't have?
Yes, and it's the sort of thing that people will indulge in madness to acquire. That is why she is. It's not the positive, happy stuff. It's the things which will drive someone to a breaking point, to the point of, like literally, the fiends are now, this is where Dr. Donahue understands a little bit more. The fiends are not figurative; they're literal.
Yes.
And so the idea that all of these
It's Umbridge. It's Umbridge, full transformation. It's going.
So the fiends do in fact truck in souls. That is something that Alexandre would absolutely know. Souls are a real thing. That is something that Grand-Mère will have told Alexandre for sure. The fiends, literally, that is their coin, if you will. And so the fiends mark their successes by succumbing folk of all race to despair, madness, whatever. And so Ch1 is literally the madness of desire. That the thing that you will plunge into the unholy to have.
Now imagining,
I would, the classic Luciferian line. I'd sell my soul for that. That's her calling card.
Nice. I'm imagining in the soup line. There's like the dwarf with this massive pot of soup and handing it, and then there's a person with a much smaller pot of soup that smells a lot better. Who's just like, no. No, have that one instead. You can't have this one.
So, there is absolutely nothing positive about any of the fiends of opposition.
And the fiends are all either mistress or master?
Yes.
That's relevant. It was the primes are gods and goddesses, and the saints are lords and ladies?
Yes.
Right.
And like I say, all of them, all the masters and mistresses, they are the most negative aspects of whatever it is they represent. And so, but the Mistress of Plagues, there's a reason her worshippers will happily suffer. The more benign of her worshippers will happily be suffering from some kind of pox. Because it means it's not coming to the greater world around them. They'll sacrifice themselves to keep others safe from their mistress. There is a tendency towards that. You can have good, if you want to use the phrase in D&D terms, you can have good worshippers of the fiends, but they are essentially sacrificing themselves in the greater to defend the world against the negative aspect of their patron. The Mistress of Plagues demands sickness. If I'm not it, she'll pick someone else. Right?
And so the two you've put in the chat, the Desire and Plagues, are they the only two there, or the main two?
Yeah,
there?
just they're the only two there.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then there's all the rest of the saints and primes that don't have.
Yeah, anybody who's any of the saints and primes, anybody not represented on Saints Row has a small shrine here.
Cool.
The shrines are all done almost as like little alcoves. They're clearly all afterthought construction, because this isn't the building has obviously been extensively renovated from when it was whatever it was originally built. The stage is still there, but it's actually being used as the soup kitchen. The outer area, which would be where all of the space for where the ushers and stuff would have brought the expensive people down to their various seats, is now been partitioned off into these 3 meter wide, 10 foot wide little alcoves where the shrines are at, and the walls have all been decorated and things like that. You've got the little place for to sit down or to kneel as you please, and then the center areas, as I say. The Beggar's Temple, quite obviously, is so named because of the people who sleep here, and the fact that the tenders of the temple are running essentially a homeless shelter. I guess is the best way of the most plain way of putting it. They're running a homeless shelter of the place.
Is it like a known, like, are there like D&D style clerics who are empowered by whichever person they happen to be?
Okay, so it's not. This is a funny question. So magic is everywhere. You have to keep in mind that the idea of a mechano-magical airship built two generations ago by somebody's grandfather was merely a brilliant achievement. It was not revolutionary, right? Yeah. Magic is everywhere. The idea that Ramiki was using magic for special effects and illusions, for using illusions for audio and for pyrotechnics and for projection images, if you will, for a modern concert. Was fascinating, but not revolutionary. So yeah, absolutely. There are religious magic practitioners, absolutely. And I would say that Chevalier will have spoken to several of them over 50 years, and they're all convinced that their source of power is their respective divinity, yes, or saint. Whether or not that's true, whether or not that's empirically true, I mean, there's no way to know. I mean, what's the for all we know, it's the song. It's the song, and it's all just different sounds of the song, or maybe it's not. That's the catch, if you will, is reality is subjective to the viewer. And so, like I say, everyone you've spoken to are of the opinion that yes, their source of power is divine.
Cool. Is there like any like actual priest, particularly of Bordio, or just the shrine?
I'll tell you what. Go ahead and roll me 2d6. Let me know if you roll any 1s or 6s.
I rolled a6.
You rolled a6. Then, not a priest, but there is someone tending the shrine currently in the process of cleaning up. Just, changing putting fresh candles in place, flipping a page, moving the bookmark on the page, to basically flipping through the Holy Tome, moving the bookmark to the current date, to whatever the current day's intentions are supposed to be, and that sort of thing. The sort of maintenance you would expect of a small shrine. She has a chimera antler hanging off of her belt. So, probably not a full priestess, but certainly someone who is of the faith.
I might approach them in that case. I'd say, excuse me, you the person responsible for this shrine?
She will turn around. Youngish human woman. She will introduce herself as Seraphina. And she will smile. I think responsible is more too strong a word. I volunteer here, though.
I was hoping, though I did not expect to find one here, I was hoping to find a priest of Borodior.
Oh, is your need urgent?
I don't know. Probably not, but it is... I found an artifact that I believe belongs to your faith, but it has been substantially corrupted.
Oh my.
I was looking for someone who could either reverse it or change it back. But that is quite a high-level task.
Yes, no, that's completely beyond me. I'm sorry. What's your name, sir?
I do apologize. My name is Chevalier.
Sir Chevalier. Oh my. Well, it would take me a day or so, but I should be able to get a hold of the person who teaches me, and find out if they can help you. Is there some place? Will you be by here again?
I could potentially come back here tomorrow. I am leaving at some point, but I am not entirely sure when.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what then. She's going to look around very quickly and just arbitrarily pick a fairly stout candle with a heavy brass base. I may not be here tomorrow, but I certainly will be back the day after. Just check under that candle, and I'll leave you a note. But as I said, my name is Acolyte Seraphina, and I will leave you a note. And at worst, it will be an address and a name of someone that you can spit of my master. I just need to chat with them before I can let you know who they are.
Thank you very much. I hope I will be able to, see you again. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too. All right.
I'll just go back to Alexandre.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's Alexandre been doing and thinking so far?
Big brain thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, actually, what she's about to talk to Chevalier about. So she probably would have just been sitting on a wall, doing the whole, like, gentle kick on the ground, being like, don't know what to do with my life or what's happening at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But when Chevalier gets back, she is gonna say, Chevalier,
Yes, Alexandre?
what happened yesterday?
Which part in particular do you mean?
There's a part where something new came out of you and shocked.
Ah, that part. I guess the short answer is I don't know. I do apologize again. I thought I was aware of all of my systems, but that one was new. I don't know. The impression I got was that she was trying to trigger it on purpose, but I do not know that for sure. She may have merely done it by accident, but either way, it activated some kind of defensive system that I had not seen before, and I had no control over.
Now that you've seen it, could you do it again by choice?
I have not tried. This is probably not the place to test.
No.
Warbot murders dozen homeless people. News at 11.
No, don't try it here. Especially not with me this close. I'm just worried that if it's something you can't do by choice, How many people know that you can? And what other things can you do that you don't know?
Well, it is difficult to speculate on things I don't know, but currently the count is one, and even that one we're not entirely sure about. As to what other people might know, what other systems. If you had asked me 2 days ago, I would have said there was nothing else. Now, possibilities are technically endless. I ultimately don't know, particularly if it is not, for some reason, accessible to me by choice. Though why that would be, I also don't know.
That answer is not at all soothing.
I don't want you to get the wrong impression, but I agree. I don't particularly like the idea that there are parts of myself that are not only not accessible by me, but are accessible by other people. It is in no way comforting. It
Is
is
it
troubling, to say the least.
is it possible? It's happened to you, and it's happened to Homiki.
You are wondering if it is possible for these abilities to be channeled through other people.
Or, like, I don't know, using the right word.
You are wondering if something is causing latent abilities to be awoken.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Whether it was something we did or something Genevieve did, I don't know. It also could be unrelated. Also might, well, not be the case. It is
I don't think
entirely
it's
possible that in an effort that they are unrelated occurrences, though I had not considered the similarity. Interesting.
Would it make anything? I feel as though I have put Lucas and Spider into a lot of danger.
I don't think it was your fault. And they were going to be in danger one way or the other. And both of them are quite adept at handling themselves in dangerous situations. And that you are being pursued, and that I am potentially as well, is an unforeseen thing, but it is not our fault that it is happening. We are not to blame. We just have to handle it and make sure we come out okay.
Would Lucas have heard La Chanson if he were not with us?
We don't have a way of knowing that. As far as I have been aware, the song chooses who to bestow abilities to. You may have been chosen because of similarities with your grand-mère, but she was not picked because of proximity to something. at least as far as I know. Lucas, had he not met you, would still be Lucas. And maybe he possesses qualities the song wants or respects. That would be the case whether he met you or not.
I suppose. Chevalier, how... Gonna stop that question. Michelle,
Yes.
how old does Genevieve look?
Hang on a second. That's yeah. Please understand, it was dark. She was desperate, and she was doing a pretty good job of murdering people. I'm not sure you were checking her makeup all that hard. So just give me a moment. I just want to double check. I just need to double check a stat.
Hotness stat.
First edition, we're bringing back comeliness.
Oh God,
This
just
is-
travesty. Oh my gosh. I mean, 15-year-old me,
So I take it as a
14-year-old,
no.
14-year-old me thought that was a great idea, but yeah.
I bet.
Well, the thing was, I was exactly enough of a literary purist to know that charisma and attractiveness were not the same thing. But of course, the rest of my chums were absolutely sure that one equated the other. So I thought it was brilliant that they'd actually put. Well, yes, exactly. Teenage boys. Teenage boys in the '80s. But so I thought
Teenagers.
at the.
Always.
I thought that. So I thought at the time the idea of quantifying attractiveness was brilliant. That. Now I'm looking back at it, it was not brilliant. I think perception check, please. Actual perception roll. I'm going to ask. So what I'm going to get you to do is actually going to be two rolls. One is going to be perception. And then the other one is going to be a learning roll afterwards to see how well you remember what it is you saw.
I didn't see anything to start with. Yes. Maybe I learned a lot. Hang on.
It's all much, not much, and I don't remember.
So the perception check was a grand total of 7. The learning roll was 8. So I'm going to say she was getting electrocuted.
I'm just going to say, honestly, the only thing you really remember about it is the fact is some very broad brushstroke details. I mean, she's she's remarkably athletic, tall, brilliant red hair, and desperately trying to murder everyone was sort of the highlights that you remember. Age.
Good goalpost to reach for,
Yeah.
Doesn't make me like this character, Michelle.
She's also an elf, right? Like, that's also a thing. I might be imagining things.
I was just going to say, let me double check. I think she's human. I'm going to
She's
double
half
check
elf.
my note.
She's half elf.
She is. I do have it written down as half elf. Okay, thank you. Yeah, yes, that's right. Yes. She's half elven. Yes, that's correct. But for example, the ears aren't quite as sharply shaped as Alexandri's. It's much more subtle. It's
Right.
noticeable if you know what to look for, but she's more human than elf in terms of structure.
But what I would know is she is an adult, older than Alex.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. I have her. Yes. She's tall, curvy, muscular, long harvest maple red hair, and the next thing that you know, green eyes, and fire, lightning, ice, nasty sickle, murders friends. Those are the next things you remember. So, yeah.
I remember all of it like it was yesterday. The Do you think she ever heard La Chanson?
I would be surprised if that were the case, but it is not outside of the realm of possibility. She does not, of the pattern of people that the song has chosen, she does not exactly fit that mold.
Well, what if we're not seeing the whole pattern?
That is possible. I only have 3 points of reference. It is enough for a pattern, but that does not necessarily mean I have the full picture. If you don't mind me asking, how are you feeling, having met her for a second time?
She's a bitch.
I think you already knew that.
But more than that, like, she's awful. Deliberately awful. Like, worse than Edgewater awful.
Oh my gosh. We're into war criminal here.
Yes, on the scale of 0 to Edgewater, she does kind of change the scale.
I just don't want to be like her.
I think making the active choice to simply not wish to be like that is a very good step, and one she would not have taken. You have to. She has put a lot of effort into being who she is. This is not something she fell into. This was a series of very specific choices that she has made. Though I am curious, should you meet her again, what do you plan to do?
Kill her.
I did think that was the case. Do you think that is the best choice for the situation?
If she tries to take La Chanson, yes.
You do not think other options are available to you?
I don't know where she came from, so I can't run from her. I don't know how she found me, so I cannot run from her. I don't know who she's working for, so I cannot run from her. And I don't want to kill her, but I will.
I don't think you are like her. I don't think you will become like her. But you should be aware that making killing your first option preemptively at that does put you closer. Killing, in my opinion, and others will have different thoughts on the matter, but in the consideration I have given it, it is the last option, and only taken when you know that other options have been exhausted. And you cannot know that in advance. You can only know that in the situation. And even then, you can be wrong. Going into any situation with the preemptive thought of, I am going to kill this person, means you have already given up on thinking of other options. And you will not see them when they become available.
She just wants to kill everyone, so.
Yes. It is likely that is what her mistress wants. Which, well, to be fair, is a bit of a clue to her identity. But just because she wants to do it does not mean we have to in return.
That's the same thing you said about Eleonora.
Well, I don't think you should kill her either.
Don't want to kill her, I want to slap her. They're not the same.
It is a matter of scale. I should point out, I am saying all of this when, during our conflict, I was fully intending to kill her, because I believed we had exhausted our options. We had run out, and that is what we had to do. But should we encounter her again, I will restart that process. It might end up that the solution is to kill her. But that is not where I will start. But that is just me. You have to make your own choices. Come on. Let's find something to eat that we can bring back to Lucas.
Probably wants another burrito.
Then let us find a burrito. I imagine regrowing organs is hungry work.
Yes, I think so.
All right, we're going to wrap there for now. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back sorting out whatever Jasper has gotten up to, and then with or without Lucas. All right, we'll be right back, folks. We're back! Hey, folks. All righty then. So, everyone's having fun, I hope, yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
sure.
choice.
Fun, happy, all of it.
Who doesn't enjoy moralistic
It's all right. It's
discussions?
no longer 2020. You're allowed to have fun.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I feel like,
Checked.
is this another one of those? I'm going to stay neutral, just in case. Someone's got to stay neutral.
Chanson, think about all the great bargains you could get on.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back.
I was
Please
giggling
no.
so hard at that.
I no longer want
lo-
to be French Chantal.
I logged into Twitch and there were 18 mentions. I thought, what the hell have these fools gotten into? Because there's only 2 groups of people I knew, and I haven't talked to the second group. And it's just friend Chantal. Yes, friend mustache. Oh my god.
The response was some stuff.
All right. Jasper, where would we be finding Jasper right about now?
Probably on his way back to Lucas holding a pair of milkshakes, I guess.
Sure.
They dropped off the message for Rachel
Mm-hmm.
saying that the job was complete and that we wanted to take Equidian up on his offer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's all I have to do after as well as getting my coat.
All right. So, yeah. So, what do you... So, all right, I guess that means you guys are back at... so, yeah, you'll be going in by the window or by the door?
Just like... pushes his way back into the room with the... trying to hold 2 milkshakes, and he's like, you could at least help with the never mind. Look, I got your milkshake.
Yeah. I mean, as he's climbing in, Lucas would just be hurrying to, like, hide something in his prosthesis and put it back on very quickly and like it never happened.
Wait, did I miss the part where you have a pocket in your prosthesis?
What? No.
I mean,
There's
what?
no...
I mean, what?
Now I'm suspicious?
Whatever gave you that idea, other than the fact that Lucas was hiding something?
Lucas can have secrets?
In his pockets?
Confusion.
He has secrets in his pockets, yes.
Oh, you brought me milkshakes.
Yes.
Are they both for me? Thank you. And he takes them both to drink them.
Yes, but one is poisoned, and I'm not telling you.
I don't care. I am that hungry. I just guzzle them.
I roll a dice and call evens or odds.
That's evens.
All right, what's your least favorite milkshake flavor, Lucas?
Hello, Pierce.
Definitely is. I reckon Lucas is definitely a chocolate boy. So it would be something fruity.
Yeah.
Because fruity and milk just don't make sense.
Yeah. Strawberry's kind of like too pedestrian. I want it to be something even more obnoxious. It's like a passion fruit milkshake.
It's like as he drinks it, I think it's just
The lights come on.
He doesn't even stop. He doesn't give it back.
And I still keep drinking it. Just hating you.
Yeah, Spider's just amused, staring.
It's delicious. Thank you.
You try the other one.
I'm trying both of them. They're both
The other
at the
one's
same
fine.
time.
They're both for you.
I didn't even ask if one was for you. I just
No.
took one.
Oh, thank you. They're both. I appreciate. They're both for me, are they, Glom?
And they taste awful.
The other one's your favorite flavor, so it's chocolate, I guess.
Kind of like mixes the two together. It's like
Maybe you need like a palate cleanser between those.
too late. I've started something. I've got to finish this. It's a brain freeze. Have you seen cats when they get brain freezes?
Oh yeah.
It's quite amazing. They're just licking ice, and then they go.
Are you saying that's how Lucas responds?
Pretty much. He just went to pine trees, and it's like, but he just keeps going.
That explains so much, actually.
Finishes them, and then crushes the things with his hands and throws them on the ground. It's like, yeah.
The awkward part having been that they're wood.
Well, I guess Alexandria will be disappointed. The fruity one was for her.
Well, let's not tell her.
I would definitely never tell her, Lucas. That would be a terrible idea.
Don't tell her. Probably best.
The secret dies with me, brother.
Thank you. Where did you go?
No, I went and delivered our message for Rachel Gray, and I bought this fancy coat.
Very fetching.
Well, I got a little worried seeing how much you got stabbed yesterday, and I don't particularly want to get stabbed myself, so a little bit of extra padding.
Your coat protects you. I'm going to poke you a bit.
Heavy material.
Yeah, that is. That's rather...
I mean, it's not gonna. If you put a sword through my chest, it's not gonna do much. But
I know, but if you get poked, it's like if you get poked hard enough, you have to poke a little harder now in order to do damage. But it is a very lovely coat. It's a little impractical. Probably a bit too long.
well, that's all right.
I mean, you got to... I think you need a little bit more colour in your life, Jasper. Black is, well...
It's pretty hard to stay hidden when you're wearing, a bright green.
I don't know, if you're in a lolly shop, it's quite easy to stay hidden in a bright green jacket.
Okay, when we go to a lolly shop that we need to steal something from, I will buy a more suitable outfit.
That makes sense.
I'm sorry. I'm just killing myself here at the contrast. So, the nature of murder, the nature of killing, these grave existentials. A lolly shop!
These are the big issues, Michelle. These are important conversations to have.
So, the Underworld, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Very
a
exciting.
big adventure.
Do you think our grandfather went down there?
He seemed more interested in the skies. That said, if he was buggering old Grand-Mère, what's her name, then he probably visited her down there.
Well, I mean, if he explored the skies, perhaps we can be explorers of the deep.
Lucas, I'll only ask this one last time, because I feel like we're at not so much a crossroads, but an intersection of some description.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if we continue on the path that we're on, there may not be another one. Are you sure that this song business between you and Alexandria is a good thing? And should we just leave?
That is a very That's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think this might be our last chance to decide.
Well, as long as we get to the Sky Anvil Plains, as long as you can do what you want to do, I will go there.
Well, I want to go adventuring with you, Lucas. That's the whole point of this trip, isn't it?
Yes. And if Alexandria comes, or Chevalier, if they come along, then, I mean, it's great company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fond of them.
I don't quite know. I don't know what they're running from. I feel like they need help.
Certainly has been exciting. I just want to make sure that you're okay with whatever's happening to you. The changes.
Spider. Vesper. For once, I feel that for everything I haven't been able to do, for all the moments that I've failed, actually have a chance to be better. And I don't know if Alexandria's given that because of the song. I don't even know if the song, I can do what I can do if she's not nearby. But it's nice.
All right then.
It doesn't mean that...
What?
It doesn't mean that I'm not in this with you.
Oh no.
Just know that. I'm here for you. This is our adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go wait downstairs in case Rachel turns up. You stay, rest, look after you. Please. And I definitely won't tell Alexandria about the merchant.
Thank you.
Lucas.
Love 'em.
There's like spiders in the doorway looking over his shoulder. You never failed me, you know.
But I might.
I doubt it. He just walks out.
All right.
Yeah, that's not a kick.
Lull everyone into a false sense of security with all your sneaking through candy store talk.
Sorry, guys.
Wow.
All those
Oh, you
children, I've been stealing candy from them.
Damn you with your feels. Take them back.
I was just going to say, I
I
just...
resolve to neutrality.
You people are absolutely awesome. I'm in at least once a session. I just sit here and think to myself, I'm a spoiled brat as a GM, getting to have you guys roleplay. Just, yeah. Right. So a little while later, Alexandre,
you
and
guys come back to the 7.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's just what I was going to
Get a
ask.
burrito.
We'll pick
Yeah.
up food first.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
first thing that happens as soon as you walk through the door carrying your food or whatever, I go, Lucas is upstairs. Oh, Alexandre, I bought you a milkshake, but he drank it. Just straight face. I can't hold a straight face. But it's
Okay,
fine.
why did, what?
No, it's Lucas,
No, why did you get me a milkshake?
I think I like it.
Oh. Thank you.
We got you a burrito.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just waiting here in case Rachel comes. But you guys head on upstairs. I'll let you know if she arrives.
Oh, I need to know if Alexandra reacts to the possibility of Rachel just turning up.
Wait. Did she just... Where is she? What? Here? Where's she at? Where's she at?
He talks. He's not here yet.
Okay, I'll just go get ready. Eat a burrito.
Go and take a burrito to Lucas.
Yes.
All right, then.
Knock on his door.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wouldn't mind having a conversation with Lucas,
Okay,
if that's okay.
carry on then. Yep.
Alone?
Yeah, I'll go to his room to give him this burrito.
Because, I mean, Alexandre would have gone to talk about the milkshake and the burrito. But if you want to have
Oh, I assumed that the possibility of an appearance of Rachel pushed milkshake thoughts away.
Oh, no. She's capable of having more than one thought at a time.
I would wait.
Jamie, she hears sentient music. She's capable of having more than one thought.
I'm just saying I was a teenager once, and I know what
Teen girl. You were not a teen girl.
Yeah.
We have a lot of thoughts simultaneously. Most of them are about crushes, but we have a lot of thoughts simultaneously.
Okay, maybe my experience is not that different.
Look,
All similar.
teenagers, adolescents.
I would wait to have a word with Lucas alone. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So.
but we can do milkshake conversations first because that sounds
Let's
fun.
do milkshake conversation. I'll wander off to get ready.
Yeah.
Lucas,
So thump 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 says the door.
Hold on, I'm just tidying up.
you tidy?
I made a mess.
Oh,
It's all,
Oh.
it's all gone now. Come on in.
okay.
I'm clearly just kicking stuff under the bed.
We brought you a burrito.
Oh my god! Thank you so much.
Wasn't sure what you wanted, so I
Doesn't
had two
matter.
options.
I just give it. Thank you.
And two burritos.
Both burritos are gone.
Burrito.
I suppose your body is busy right now.
Yes.
Still talking about teenagers?
Still an adolescent, yeah.
So, healing process is a second puberty. Is that it? Every time.
No.
Look, things are changing. Parts of you are growing things that they didn't grow before. It's rough.
I don't want to relive those years.
Let's not.
Something pro
Now
quality
it's better.
programming.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like, and there's clearly a rag that has got a lot of blood and lung on it. But I've been I've coughed up quite a few more flesh parcels.
Oh. Okay. I might need to do it again tomorrow.
That's fine. The sooner it all gets done, the better. I'm feeling great, though. I feel fine.
Yes. What flavor exactly was my milkshake?
The shankings will continue until morale improves.
What milkshake?
My one.
Jasper brought me to, and they both said Lucas on them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's strange, because Jasper told me that he got me a milkshake.
Oh, he did?
It'd be strange to... Yes, he did.
It would be. That's really strange. I don't know why he would do that.
I mean, I haven't known you for that long, but I could take a solid guess.
I will buy you a milkshake when we are next out.
Okay.
In replacement of the one that was never intended for you in the first place.
What flavor was it? The one that was intended for me.
I do believe it was passion fruit.
Passion fruit. Why?
I don't know who would put fruit in a milkshake.
No.
No, it's gross.
The only acceptable option is chocolate.
I have absolute agreement with you in that one. I think I'm quite surprised, actually.
Why?
No, don't take this the wrong way, but I just imagined you more of a sour flavored drink appreciator.
What?
But that's just me being judgmental. So
Maybe 2 more days.
maybe you could grow some of my brain back. That might be great.
I can only try.
Mm.
I don't think I can put more than what was there to begin with.
Well,
Well, I look forward to a chocolate milkshake.
by the way, did you see that crazy light sword stuff I did?
Yes, it was impressive.
The song's it's got quite a bit of kick to it.
Mhm.
Like, it's pretty powerful stuff.
It can be.
Well, just letting you know, I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Why?
Because there's an angry bitch looking for me, probably to take La Chanson, and if she knows that you exist, then she will probably be after you as well, and, you know, maybe it's better if she just doesn't know that you can do it, because...
So you don't want me to use it?
It's not that. I don't want you to get hurt. And you're already hurt.
I'm fine, Alexandre.
You're coughing up a lung.
Well,
And probably half of your stomach.
that's because
That might come out of your ass, though.
like a flock of geese.
Like a flock of geese.
I'm going to be fine, Alexandre.
She wasn't trying to kill me.
Well, she didn't succeed in killing me.
Barely.
I won't.
You're a good fighter. She's just dangerous.
Well, we'll just have to be prepared for when we see her again. I won't use it if you don't want me to. But
I don't
you
think
seem
you could.
pretty intent on getting me to use it in the first place.
I don't think you could stop once you started it anyway, really. It sort of becomes part of you.
Well, I already can tell that it is making me feel more capable than I have felt in a long time.
I'm glad.
And this burrito is divine, thank you, Chevalier.
No, I'm glad you are enjoying it.
What
Lady
did you
Grey
find out?
is. What?
What did you find out?
I talked to some priests, well, a scholar of Atul and an acolyte of Borodior. It is, well, the sickle was a holy object of Borodior's used in worship and rituals. Someone, possibly Genevieve, possibly somebody else, has gone to quite a lot of effort to debase and corrupt it into what it is now. The acolyte that I met is going to try to contact the person who is teaching her, and she will either leave me a note tomorrow or meet me in person the day after that. So that will depend on, I guess, what our movements are like, which I imagine we will discover once Rachel Gray has arrived.
Of course. Well, hopefully he'll give us some answers.
I'm gonna go get ready. Now. Or she leaves.
Is Alexandria all right?
I think she is just excited. She is also quite concerned about you, about, well, all of us. Worried that it is her fault that we are in danger.
Well, I mean, what can we do? We're in it.
That was kind of my point when she mentioned it, but without knowing more, there is little we can do. We just have to be ready to respond when the time comes. which is why it's important for you to heal.
Chevalier, you've seen the song used in
Yes.
more ways than Alexandria has seen it.
Yes.
Is it dangerous?
Yes. But it is dangerous like your sword is dangerous.
I mean more to us.
Is it dangerous to the person who uses it? I have not seen anything that suggests that its use has repercussions directly. Obviously, there are indirect repercussions. Genevieve is an example of that. It is powerful, and anything that is powerful can be desired or feared.
Can it change people?
I don't know. The argument of whether it will influence you is a slippery slope because it would not occur in a way that you would notice. But in the same way that any experience will change you, yes, whether it is purposefully or insidiously changing you, I could not say. But it is a dangerous question to dwell on.
Can it Can the song change what's happened?
It brought me back to life. So, in a way, yes. But I guess it would depend on what specifically you mean in changing what has happened. My being restored, awoken, however you wish to view it, is less changing what has happened and more in a retroactive sense and more like healing. But I do not know its extent. Many things are possible.
Again, thank you for the burrito.
Wow. As I assumed regrowing organs would, well, be hungry work. And at the same time, I like watching them being made.
You could become a burrito chef.
Getting the technicalities is certainly fine, but balancing taste would be a little beyond my capacity. But who knows? Once we have time, there are many things we could do.
Chevalier,
Yes?
do you ever feel regret?
In a specific sense or in general? But yes, in both cases, I guess. Regret is unfortunately a part of life. We make mistakes we wish we had not. We did not. We do things we wish we hadn't. All we are able to do is move forward. I like to say that all we can be expected to do is the best we can with the information we have available. But the caveat to that is that we also have to be ready to accept the consequences. And those are not always pleasant, particularly if we were wrong for whatever reason. And then sometimes life is just hard.
I tip my burrito to that.
You know, Lucas, we are all aware of your ability. No one here is in doubt of it. But in my experience, speaking of past regrets, playing off injury as nothing does not alleviate other people's worry. In many cases, it merely enhances it. I know what it is like to want to not be a source of concern, particularly for people we wish to look after. But it is important not to go too far. It pushes people away, and that becomes its own source of concern, its own source of worry. And usually we cannot hide our pain, so it does little good.
I just wish people would stop fussing.
Well, they fuss because they care.
There are more important things to care about.
You are as worthy of care as anybody. And it is always important to look after the people that are important to you.
Thank you, Chevalier.
And I leave.
Okay. Speaking of a humanoid lioness, that pretty much gets you guys up to noon. You guys had gone out first thing in the morning. As noted, the wind is fierce, unusually coming from the north. It's got a very hefty smell of the ocean about it. Even this far inland, it seems out of place. There's a heavy smell of salt in the air. Excuse me. Basically due north of here is the Serpent Deeps. So yeah, there's a very heavy smell of salt in the air, a chill moisture. There's not a lot of cloud, but it's actually almost a bright sunny day, almost, but somehow just because of the wind, it manages to feel gray in spite of not looking gray. Yes. And I think sort of, as Spider's going to be waiting down in the tavern part of the inn, there's the every time someone comes or goes, there's going to be this blast of chill, wet air that kind of curls in. It's probably going to remind him a little bit of potentially both happier and less happier days of a different spider hanging out on the docks in Shining Capital, right? For them, a north wind always came in over the land, and that was always warm, dry air. It was the south wind, usually coming in from the southeast, that just sort of seemed to roar up the bay, and no one was ever happy with a southeast wind. It just made everything more difficult. The docksmen would be complaining from the point they got up to the point they went to the point they closed down for the day. The harbor would be choppy. The ships would be struggling to come in under control and be struggling to make headway on the departure, and just, never fun. So I think, before anyone shows up, what's Jasper got on his mind down in the pub?
I think he's doing a lot of people watching, and generally keeping an eye out for any sign of anything suspicious, because he's still kind of worried about the bounty hunters turning up, or Equidian deciding that we're more trouble than good, or this crazy sickle lady mage turning up again. So, the only masked assailant that brought her portal out of thin air was not captured. So, there's a lot of threats and loose ends. I think Spider's a bit on edge, but there's hope.
And loose ends are his least favorite ends, you say?
Yeah, exactly. He is currently in the middle of the web, trying to feel for vibrations.
Is it a comfortable feeling?
I think it's not an unfamiliar feeling. I think you grow up the way that Spider did, then you get used to, keeping your eyes on a swivel. But yeah, compared to, sort of the somewhat carefreeness of wandering through the forests back in, what was the other town called? Where we were, fighting with lizard men and stuff. It felt a lot less.
Breezy Point Bay.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. In fact, that's right, of course, in Breezy Point Bay. I think it all felt a lot less personal then. It was yes, we're on the run, but, we're kind of a bit free. And I think the promise of the Underworld is kind of exciting to Jasper in that sense, in that at least a few assailants won't be looking for them there.
All right. So, yeah, I believe the way I described Rachel Gray was, Tyra Banks is a lioness, which I believe Chantel's immediate reply was, "Oh, you mean Tyra Banks?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be just a little bit afternoon. So at this point, Alexandria and Jasper have been in the pub for a little bit. Are they chit-chatting about anything? Or just enjoying a companionable silence and just making small talk? Alexandria, by the way, Spider, for some inexplicable reason, has shown up ready to go to a ball. You're not entirely sure why.
These things happen,
Sure why.
It's less ready to go to a ball and much more like that makeup that says I'm not wearing makeup, but I'm obviously very much wearing makeup.
No, I'm naturally this pretty.
Natural.
I'm naturally this pretty.
Naturally glowing today. That look.
Mm-hmm.
Spider, what did you actually see when all of the fighting started?
Well, of course, at first I thought it was just us getting ambushed by some thugs, and I shot one of them in the throat. But then I spotted a figure wearing like a demon mask on the opposite roof, and he threw. It was like a jar about that big, filled with green, swirling, glowing something. And then it hit the ground, and then a big green, glowing, swirling portal appeared, out of which those large werekin came out. And so I shot the guy with the mask, and I tried to jump over the roof to catch him, but the tiles were loose on the roof, and I wasn't expecting it, so I slipped down and fell on top of it. And then I just
remember
stabbed
that
the
bit.
as I landed on it, and it died.
I don't remember that bit.
No, you were
I was on a
hiding
horse
behind
watching the
Chevalier
whole
at the
thing.
time, actually. And so I then hopped back on the roof and tried to chase down the mask-wearing fella, because I thought he was the mastermind behind all of it.
Right.
And when I shot at him again, he I say he, I mean it let loose some sort of demonic scream at me, very inhuman, whatever it was.
You know, when you lie about one thing, it makes the rest of it a little suspicious.
Well, I didn't lie about anything, though.
You did not stab the Workin.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Not as you fell.
Well, I mean, I fell on it, and then I fell off, and then I stabbed it from behind, and it died.
Okay.
That's basically the same thing.
You're a very good liar.
Yes.
I don't know if that was the lie or not.
Then it proves that it wasn't.
So you're a very bad liar?
No, I am a very good liar.
Is that a lie?
No. None of what I just said was a lie.
Are you sure?
I had to think about it, but as far
I
as I'm
know.
aware.
Yes, I see that.
Well, that's when I came running back towards the rest of you, and I saw, the sorceress lady, and realised the mistake I had made. Because she was a nasty piece of work. I actually didn't see much after that, because she sent ice crystals into my eyes, and I couldn't really see. I could only sort of hear. And so I took a couple of blind pot shots at her.
Wasn't hit.
I was pretty sure that I did, but
It sort of hurt her.
yeah. I'm sure that, Lucas and Chevalier did most of the work.
Maybe. Do you think that maybe you and Lucas should get far away from me?
Do Do I think maybe Lucas and I should get far away from here? Yes.
Take out the maybe. Still same answer?
I don't know. I love my brother. And his safety is important to me. But at the same time, we decided to go on this adventure together. And I knew that that would mean not everything would be safe for either of us. I was not expecting the level of unsafeness that you provide.
If it helps at all,
That's delightful.
neither was I.
I know. And honestly, that's the main reason I'm sticking around. If I thought you were recklessly endangering us on purpose, I mean, you probably just wouldn't have woken up one night.
What?
What? I mean, look, it wouldn't happen now. I'm a little bit too fond of my relationship with the tin can to make him angry like that.
You're aware Chevalier doesn't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had that discussion.
Good.
What I was trying to say is I wouldn't murder you now, because we're not.
You couldn't murder me now.
I mean, he looks around and Chevalier is just not in this room.
You don't know.
He's sitting next to Alexandra. He's like, God!
God, you made me
never
drop
know when
my
he's
oyster
around.
meat out of my burrito.
Etch.
Chevalier's about upstairs going, why am I holding my weapon?
Why is there a turret just...
It's just stuff. It's like an Inspector Gadget thing. He's just like, oh, this is bad. Oh, I don't like any of this.
What she gotten herself into now? Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm glad you wouldn't try to assassinate me.
But yeah, look, I asked Lucas if he wanted to stick this song business out, and he does, and that's good enough for me.
He does.
Yeah.
Good. Why not you?
Sorry?
Nothing.
Do you think it's a god, your song?
No. Or if it is philosophically opposed to the current pantheon.
Well, I didn't mean it was like, one of them, but...
I think it is too free to be a god.
It's like, I've heard of, priests getting magic powers from their gods or whatever. I also heard of people like spending years studying, magical cantrips and various forms and rituals and being able to manifest magic that way. But you just sort of do it.
Yeah, to an extent.
Well, I mean, you ask the song and it does it. I don't know. I don't know how it works. It just sounds like a god, is what I'm saying.
A little, I guess. There are times I ask for things and I don't get them. Then again,
Maybe
I
it's
suppose that's like a
like-
god.
What if it's like a baby god? Or it's like a god, but it's in prison. And so it can only like send out some letters, but not all of them. Because the guards are the analogy doesn't hold up, but you know what I mean.
Sort of does. I don't know what it wants me to do, so maybe that's what it is.
Grandmother didn't ever tell you, what it asked of her.
No, but she couldn't do it, and it made her very sad.
Would you do anything that the song told you to do?
Yes.
What if it told you to throw Chevalier into a meat grinder?
Well, that's ridiculous.
Well, what if
Chevalier
it-
is harder than a meat grinder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be a hell of a mess for both of them, I reckon.
No, just the meat grinder.
All right, well, okay, what if it asked you to sacrifice your life?
Yes.
And it didn't tell you why?
I sort of expect that.
Huh.
Whatever it wants, it's not telling me now, which means either I'm not ready to know, or it's so scary that I probably wouldn't do it if I knew right now.
Well, that's it, right? Really, the only thing it's ever asked of you in return so far is, come here. What happens when you get there and it says, now kill all your friends?
I don't think it would ask that.
I hope not. For your sake, mostly.
I would ask it why.
And if its response was, kill all your friends, in the same way that its only response at the moment is, come here.
I would ask it why. It's not a god. You can't ask a god why, not and expect an answer. But if I ask La Chanson why, I expect an answer.
I was taught to worship gods when I was a kid. Never made a whole lot of sense to me, though. I understand wanting the sense of safety that they provide their followers. Imagining that each and every prayer is listened to. But outside those few who dedicate their entire lives to sex and end up, with powers or whatever, it's always seemed to me like the real power that the gods have is to inspire us. The patron saint of thieves here, he used to be one of the fiends, and he stole his way out of hell, something like that. I don't remember the story exactly. I don't think I'm quite that good, but I'd like to be someday. Just in case, I need to steal my way out of hell.
Well, at least if La Chanson tells me to kill all my friends, I know you can get out.
Very good. Very good. Where is this lioness, eh? We could be waiting a while. So you don't want to get some rest or,
Do you know how hard it is to look this good?
Squint.
I think Jasper is going to be saved having to answer that question by Rachel arriving, actually.
Perfect.
She sweeps in. She's, like I say, Lucan are distinctive, even if they're bundled up in a cloak against the wind. She's 1.9 meters tall, which is 6'4", I think, or something like that. She's about 90 kilos of muscle, because it's been a while since I've described her, so yeah. Gold cat eyes, straw fur with silver tips, medium mane that's a sharp garnet color. And, she's wearing a fairly hefty cloak that's obviously furred. It's not felt or it's not wool or anything like that. It's made of fur of some kind. You don't recognize it offhand. And she's going to sweep in, kind of look around, pull the hood back as she recognizes you. Forget herself for a moment, and big grin as she strolls over. And of course, that's just an awful lot of teeth, right? And if you've ever seen a lion or lioness in the real world smile, it's not a reassuring sight. It just isn't. She's going to do the hello wave, the dainty socialite thing, which just looks awkward. With the Lucan have paws, but the digitoids are extended. The last inch is still claw, but as with most cats, she can retract them voluntarily. It's the primary difference between canids and felines, is cats can voluntarily retract them. So, but yeah, so she, the socialite wave kind of thing as she strolls over to the bar, very quickly drops a few glittering coins on the, orders a bottle of, her preferred liquid candy. She's an absolute junkie for sparkling wines. She adores her sugary fizzy candy. And she will snags 3 glasses from the bartender and strolls over and unceremoniously just taps the cork off with a flick of a claw, and not quite sloppily places, but very pleasedly pours 3 glasses and slides one over to each of you. I got the great news. I am so pleased, and so is my cousin. Or he's having to answer a few fancy questions this morning, but that's okay. She giggles, I don't mind when Equidian's having a bad day. I think it's funny.
Well, just quickly, were there other people in the inn? Like, just
oh gosh, yes. No, there's like it's noon. It's coming up on 1:30 in the afternoon. No, I mean she looks. She's a room stopper. Lucon are not normally this far south. Normally you do not encounter the Lucon off the Great Plains, or off the steppes, and then the performance she puts on is just everybody's trying not to stare. I mean,
I'm thinking like Chevalier was waiting for that lack of sound, I guess. That sudden, like the sudden hush, and be like, "Yep, okay, that's the cue." That's how we know she's arrived.
Now Chevalier enters wearing his tuxedo.
I just knock on Lucas's door and just not to go in, just be like, "I'm pretty sure Rachel's here," and then make my way downstairs.
That's
I
funny.
thought you were
So I'm
knocking
just
on my
going to
door so I
nod.
could fix your tuxedo before you go down.
He's not wearing his tuxedo. Like, I thought about it. It would be funny, but
I imagine him descending the stairs like Fran Drescher does in The Nanny.
yeah, I'm clearly wearing a ball gown that I also had made.
I was just because the problem is with the tuxedos, he needs to be sewn into it for it to fit properly, and since he hasn't got a couple of handy tailors,
Working on it. Yeah. Teach the drones to have arms.
One of them keeps ranting in French about looking like an English peasant.
That was a very strong image I got there.
All right. So do you two lads head downstairs?
I mean, I
All
sort
right.
of knock on the door in passing and just be like, I think she has arrived, and then just continue.
Okay. Okay, you're not waiting for him at all. All right.
Nah. Just like letting him know that she's here, and then just continuing down.
Yeah.
I don't have to get dressed.
Yeah, no, I'll make my way down.
All right.
Well, I do imagine like he's probably sitting there with like, speaking of the drones, like some drones just like doing some kind of like scan on this sickle thing. He's just like on the table, and they sort of go away. He wraps it up and makes his way back down.
Yeah. Okay, so basically things have mostly gone back to normal. When it's very obvious that she's here specifically to talk to a couple of people as opposed to might be here by herself. So the other two arrive, and with Jasper and Alexandre sitting and sort of chatting insubstantially. So yeah, keep going. Okay, you're
I
expecting me to
definitely
talk.
agree. I definitely say.
All right.
Upon seeing her, I definitely greet her.
So how did it go? I mean, I got your message, obviously, that things went okay. I know Ramiki made it to her ship, and she sent a note back saying that she was terribly thrilled with the lot of you. Said something about charging you for a peep show, but I've no idea what that's about, she says, gesturing towards Lucas. But yeah, so what happened?
Locked.
Yeah, there was a few minor speed bumps, but to be honest, it was pretty straightforward.
Turns out she is exactly as you described.
I wouldn't bring her back to Glitter Delta Cove anytime soon.
Is the city still rioting?
No. That got straightened out by just about by a little bit after midnight.
Okay, cool.
The gouverneur is incredibly intolerant of things like that, so yeah. A lot of people with bumps and bruises.
It's quite possible that the governor will continue to want to see Ramiki killed.
Well, I would assume it was not the governor who was responsible for that.
Oh?
There's going to be. I'm just going to say. Rachel's going to hold up a claw. Responsible for what?
Well, we're getting to that, but and I am not entirely familiar. We only have been here for a short time. Is the governor of this city renowned for being incredibly incompetent?
Rachel's going to get kind of scratches at her chin for a moment. And again, apparently totally. She's apparently in an absolutely manic mood because again she completely forgets herself, gives the big wide grin. No, because otherwise Aquidian would be running the place already. The fact that she stayed ahead of him in spite of being human. No, I would not use the phrase incompetent.
All of its many faults, the Confederacy does not generally put incompetent people in positions of power. Putting the wrong person, potentially. Putting bad people, almost certainly, but not incompetent. Someone tried to poison Ramiki by sending a letter that had been soaked in some kind of contact poison, at which point Chevalier gets the letter out and just like holds it. This one to be with a lovely penned message, which shows that it says "you're dead" or something from memory.
Yeah, that's all it says. On one side, the very nicely folded, from the governor, blah blah blah. You open it up, it says "you're dead."
It was delivered to us by a page wearing the livery of the governor. Now, if this was from the governor themselves, that is startlingly stupid. However, if it was from somebody else, then the potential that Aquidian might believe it was from the governor does seem advantageous. Whether they expected her to actually die, I'm sure this poison is capable of that, but, well, there were a lot of people on hand, and we certainly were able to contain it. I don't know. It may have been another ploy just to prove that they could. But Mr. Edgewater and Mr. Kilcare here were able to intercept the letter and had the wherewithal to check it before handing it to Ramiki, at which point we discovered, well, that it was poisoned.
She's going to sigh for a moment. No, yeah, there's absolutely no way that was sent by the governor. She's just going to chuckle. Miss Kennington is many things, and of the top of the list, willing to flaunt her power is one of them. If straight up she had wanted Ramiki dead, she just simply would have had her arrested and executed the next morning. She's like that. She's incredibly obvious because she can be. But Aquidian will be interested in knowing that because, yes, that's exactly the sort of thing, exactly the sort of games he enjoys. I'm sure he'll figure out who's responsible.
Also, group of thugs tried to waylay us, and while they did not pose much of a threat in and of themselves, it was very interesting that they did know exactly where we would be going after the show, particularly because it was not something that we had even considered or discussed until the show itself had ended. Ramiki knew where her meeting would take place, and she told us once it was done. But the fact that there was a group waiting for us in our path is interesting.
I think, Rachel's just going to pause for a moment, kind of clearly be sort of rattling a few things around and looks vaguely displeased. That just means someone in the Lamplighters it can't keep their mouths shut. That's not unsurprising, I suppose.
We have a favor to ask. Of the Queen.
He mentioned, yes.
It has come to our attention that we need to leave. And we were intending to go by boat. But we feel it is imperative that we leave sooner rather than later. We had heard mention of using the Underwelt.
Oh, well, yes. There's no reason you couldn't.
Quidian had said that we did this job for them, that he might introduce us to a guide.
Oh, okay. That's what Renamala was talking about. Okay, yes, she says with a smile. I can certainly mention it to him. I can't imagine he'd say no. You've done your part. Quidian is many things, but good to his word is one of them. It's part of the reason he gets away with what he does.
It is more that we had not confirmed that that was what we would do when we last talked. We simply were curious of the possibility. But I think it is the course that we will now take.
I'll be chatting with my cousins this evening, essentially once sundown comes and goes and everyone's up out of bed. I'll mention it to Jazina. I can't imagine, as I say. Jazina's a sweetie. I'm sure she can convince her brother of just about anything if she tries hard enough. So, and if not, she'll just go to her grandmother. Yeah. You're not asking for
the Underworld?
Oh, no. You've no idea what that much moisture would do to my fur. She giggles. I'm kidding. No, I've just never had a reason to go, honestly. Yes, I'm mildly claustrophobic, but that's not the real thing. I've just never had occasion to. Or never had reason, I guess, is the best answer. This is about as small as I like, honestly. I can't imagine going that far down in a hole. She has another mouthful of her drink.
Good way to keep from being seen.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Well, I suppose it depends what you mean. I mean, there's an awful lot of ebon elves and whatever else lives down there. That much I know. There's an entire city down there, is what I understand. But
After you ask about whether or not Equidian will accept our request, Where shall we meet you? It feels a bit
Oh,
strange to...
I'll come looking for you. You're staying here, I presume.
Yes.
Ah, it's no problem then. Just make sure the innkeep understands that if I pop in, that it's okay for that I'm not trying to do something dastardly, and they're allowed to tell me what room you're in, and I'll just go knock on somebody's door and let you know it's time to go.
Mine. I mean,
Sure.
damn you, empty wine glass.
Do you have a rough idea of how long it will take to make arrangements?
I suppose that she's going to chuckle. Honestly, it depends what kind of mood Aquidian's in. If it's a good, honestly, I could, literally be done. The whole discussion could be done by the time he's done breakfast. If he's in a good mood, he moves that quick about some things. If he's feeling thwarted at all, or has a bucket of other things to go, it may be tomorrow. Or if he has to make arrangements with a guide or something, it takes a little while to get word down and back again.
That was more what I meant, that communication time.
A couple of days at worst, I would think. Like I say, it depends. There's. Just going to pause for a moment. There's basically, from around here, there's only two ways to the Underveld anyway. There's one here in the city. There's one at the estate. So the only question will be which way you're taking. If Aquidian wants to see you, he'll probably want you to come out to the estate. If he doesn't want to see you, I'll probably be told to how to get you over to the place here.
Thank you.
Maybe Jazina will come and bring you herself. I don't know.
Good to know.
We have an unrelated question.
Mm-hmm.
A long while ago, feels like a long while ago, we were told about a red door, and it was significant. There was someone running something out of it, and I just wondered if you knew anything about it.
Hang on a second.
Maybe it's milk?
Yes, just one sec. I actually have to...
I was just adding what I know.
Yes. And then, okay, there we go. Y'all can make a perception check if you wish. Wow, she's rolling like crap. And she gets advantage 1, so there's the advantage die, and that's just a 2, which isn't very good at all. Alright, so your target number is a 17.
26.
Alexandria is paying attention. That's a 22.
Wow.
That's a 5, Lucas.
She's going to have a sip out of her glass in the very same way that Chantal just tried to have a sip out of her glass. No, I'm not paying any. And after an awkward moment of stalling, which probably would have eluded almost everybody else's attention, she said, "No, I can't remember having heard anything about it at all." She's lying. Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't sound familiar to me. I can ask Aquidian about it.
No. In fact, it might be better if you don't.
Okay. All right. So she's going to sit and chat with you folks for a little bit longer, and then she will make her exit, unless you guys have got anything in particular you need to discuss, anything else you want to talk to her about.
Did she want the note?
Yeah, I was just going to say probably
Like
she
in a sense
would.
of like, don't touch that with your skin.
No,
slash fur, but-
she literally has got a wax scroll case and a literal pair of tweezers. Well, actually, slightly longer than tweezers. It's basically a set of collapsible tongs. You get the impression she handles poisoned objects regularly. So literally, she just pulls these things out of her. She's got a messenger bag riding on her hip. Pulls these things out, pops them out, very quickly rolls the thing up using the tongs, slides it into the scroll case, puts the cap on it, puts everything back into the messenger bag. Oh, and then puts a bright red sticker on the end of the scroll case.
I think it's time to use my perk for the session.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to. What was the exact thing you asked her, Chanson?
Basically, do you know about the red door
Right.
in the docks?
Now, does everyone remember the context of the discussion about the red door?
Yeah, that's where
Oh, yeah.
the member of the Silver Hand went to meet the people, right?
Yeah.
Was something given to us from in Breezy Point Bay. There was a reference, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was
From Tolman.
The mercenary.
The mercenary.
The mercenary was like, Tolman goes here a bunch. I just wait outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's, thank you for letting me live. Here's a piece of information.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like fairly obvious she's lying, but I don't know that I, Jamie, am smart enough to come up with the thing that Spider says here. But
Yeah, no, that's okay. Just give me the idea that you're looking for.
Yeah, well, it's just to sort of to get some more information out of like what she knows about this in a way that she doesn't realize she's given the information. The perk is Silver Tongue. Once per session, when you converse with an intelligent creature for at least 5 minutes, you can learn a useful secret of the GM's choosing about the creature. So I don't get to choose exactly what it is, but that's what Spider's angling towards, is that
All right.
he spots the lie and then tries to wheedle the conversation in a way that
All right.
that he'll give something away. It may not be about the door in the end, but that's what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not a dumb girl is literally a professional spy. So I think this is one of these places where superpower runs headlong into reality.
Yeah. Sure. I get it.
So or game reality at least. I think it's going to be more like chatting for 10 minutes because she is so guarded, and there's more than once where, for lack of a better way of putting it, when she realizes that she's wandering into dangerous territory, she suddenly starts discussing Alexandria's makeup or something, and completely derails the conversation. But
Yeah.
I think what that really amounts, by the time you're done with it, I think it's not what she has managed to say, it is what she has managed to avoid saying repeatedly that allows Spider to sort of make the leap of faith. And it's actually not, you're pretty sure it's not Silverhand.
Right. Okay.
You're pretty sure that, it's probably remember there's two quote organized crime groups in this city, right?
Yep. The Dockers and
The Dockers and the Lamplighters. You're pretty sure that it's the equivalent of the Hells Angels Club for the Dockers.
okay.
You're also pretty sure, now that you think about it, going back, that Equidian's reaction when you first glimpsed the map and panicked and said you didn't want to get the Silver Hand involved in anything. his expression and his reply at the time, you kind of wrote it off, that he did, he kind of very testily, I'm not interested in involving the Silver Hand. You're actually now thinking about it. A Quidian wouldn't want someone like the Silver Hand involved. The Silver Hand isn't into politics. The Silver Hand is about itself. So if a Quidian's playing games here, involving the Silver Hand would be the dumbest possible thing he could do. Because the Silver Hand is essentially, while they do roughly have a distaste for the Confederacy, they have a greater taste for money.
But that's the thing, though. Like, if he hired them,
yeah, they're as loyal as them. Yeah, they don't care about the cause. Yeah, as soon as he stops paying them, the loyalty is no longer present.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I think you've managed to pin down sort of that double point by she's not protecting the Silver Hand with her dissembling. She's protecting Quidian's machinations.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cool.
I think the other thing you'll get for free, in case it wasn't clear, is that Rachel has a very fierce sense of loyalty to the Dashamali family. She has a tremendous amount of respect for a Quidian, but she doesn't necessarily like a Quidian.
Yeah.
She respects what he's capable of. But perhaps I think you'll be left with a sense that she disagrees with his methods from time to time. All right.
Well, I'm sure we all look forward to our next meeting.
Stay safe, she says with a giggle. If you get a minute, she says. Hang on, Michelle just needs to double check the name of a spot. One sec. I totally forgot to check this prior. It's. Take a few minutes some days when it's brightly lit, she's going to say with a very sharp intonation, and check out the area around the industrial district, particularly all the doors that are maybe a little less obvious. Get used to that area. Learn that area a bit. It would be very helpful, particularly to you, Jasper. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to be on my way. I've got a dozen things to do for the day. So you all be careful. Stay healthy. Ta-ta. And she's going to snag the rest of the bottle and stroll out, having a sip of it as she goes.
I elbow Alexandria and I said, "You don't want to go with her?"
She would eat me alive.
Well, that was the point.
Too much for my taste.
Right amount of teeth, though.
He's very tall.
Yes, she is.
She gotten taller.
Maybe.
Why does someone as with such stature as her, why is it suddenly everyone's rendered speechless when they enter a room? What is that?
Gravitas.
Presence. One day maybe you can learn it.
I need to get a couple more feet on me.
Aren't you
You're not
roughly the same height? No?
Oh, no,
Couple
she's like
inches.
1.9 meters tall.
That's 6'3".
That's a lot.
How tall is Lucas?
6'1".
It's a couple of inches, not a couple of feet.
That's not whole feet.
1.9 is not. It's not 6'3". It's like 6'6", 6'7",
is
8".
2 meters, right?
Yeah.
A meter is 3.3 feet.
Okay.
So
I'm 1.5, so like, not 1.5. I'm more than 1.5. Strike that from. I'm 1.59.
How? So she was 1.9, you said?
1.9 meters, yeah.
That's 6.2 feet.
No, it's
That's
not.
It's like 6.2.
6.2 is about
So 0.2 is like
6'2".
well, see,
It's two times 12. Don't forget.
whatever.
It's 2 times 12.
Boy,
So
it's
yeah,
not
one,
that
two.
much taller.
look, Imperial is dumb. So
It is
It's
absolutely.
dumb, but
The only reason I do the conversion is because we have some folk from the USA watching.
hello, people from the USA watching. Imperial is dumb.
Imperial.
Also, she's about 10 centimeters taller than you.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's not that
Enough
much taller than you.
to notice it.
I'm not tall enough.
It's tall, mate.
Which, by comparison,
Okay.
Took those milkshakes.
Might be a little bit of background echo.
If anything, Jasper just never gave you your present, Alexandre.
No, that's not working.
Oh, we can hear you.
hello?
Try that.
Hello?
What happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've completely lost audio on my side. I guess we're done for today. Okay. Yeah. But,
We hear you.
Drew, can you say something real quick?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. I can't hear them.
It's all right. We can hear
Ow.
you, Michelle.
Oh, wait
Yeah,
a second.
just
Yes,
play,
let's keep
play us
calling
out
him.
on
We
this.
hear him when he can't.
Give us the play us out.
Yeah, you
give
guys
us
can
the
hear
play
us,
out
all right.
music.
Just give me a sec.
I've been Sam.
No,
You
this
can
is
find me
just
on Twitter.
my headphones. I thought I had those fully charged, and apparently not. So.
We can say our goodbyes.
Yeah. Let's just say goodbye and
You were just
leave.
vamping it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
The
enough.
characters were just vamping anyway.
Yeah,
right?
we
Like,
just walk out. We
Play
go
us out.
upstairs, and we each go to our rooms and close the doors. The last thing you see is
This
each of the doors
continued
closing.
conversation about the
Empty
difference
hallway.
between like presence and presence.
I can hear you now, charades. Yes, thank you to Great Mustache. I deeply appreciate that. I guess we're done for today, folks, because I can't figure out why it is I can't hear you even over my headphones now. Hang on. Might be a Zoom setting. Just give me a sec. Oh,
Just
Zoom,
change the
thank
microphone.
you.
You can't hear me. What am I saying?
Keep giving advice. How helpful
Can
to
the
them.
stream
If
hear
I do
all of
that,
this? Is
everything
that
will come
what's
out.
going on?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Yeah, we're just going to have to be done for today, because otherwise I'm going to wind up doubling up audio if I turn it on. So I will get myself a set of wired earbuds for the next cast. But yeah, so sorry.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, unnecessarily complicated audio setup over here too. So that makes us think everything a little more complicated. So, all right. I guess so. What we'll do is we'll just do the wrap up and say goodbye, and we'll pick up with this where we were next week. So yeah. So yeah, Jamie, start off. Just so that I can tell you're done, do me a favor and wave.
I will. When I am done, I will wave. Yeah, that's me. I'm Jamie Collette. You can find me on Twitter at Muffin Manifesto or on my website, jamie-collette.com.
Let's just checking to see if the bot was on.
You can also see me 2 p.m. EST on Wednesdays, which on twitch.tv/Ractus, which is Know Your Roles campaign of Blades in the Dark. And you can see some of the theatre shows that I've directed online at streamedshakespeare.com.
That's what I was just checking, Great Moustache. I thought it was... Yeah, God, thanks, Jamie. I was just checking to see, and apparently it hasn't actually joined, but that's irritating. I'll fix it later. Drew, you're up.
Hi, everyone, and goodbye. I'm Drew. Happy New Year. You can find me on Twitter at Drew Wilson. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I do puppetry. I do lots of random things. And in about a month's time or just over, I might have a dog. Oh my God, that's very exciting. So I will hopefully bring the new puppy on the stream, and it won't be as distracting to you as it awesomely will be for me. All right, bye.
Imagine puppy on stream to not be distracting.
No, puppies are beautiful. You'll
Yes,
forget it's
hence
there.
the distraction.
You'll forget it's there because it's just in the corner.
Yep. Sam next.
I'm Sam. I am a voice actor and performer based in Australia. You can find me on Twitter at @_RealSammyP. I will blank on all the details about the podcast I was going to talk about. So I don't know if Chantel knows more, but Chantel and I will be appearing on a podcast for Shrike. I think it's Echoes of Silence. And that we'll be recording, hopefully, our first episode later this month.
In 2
like
weeks.
midway through this month, 2 weeks. So look out for that once they start putting out the episodes. Gosh, today was fun. Gotta love just really character-driven sessions where we just get to sit there and just speak about personal philosophy to each other. So I hope everyone had fun. I hope everyone is currently having a good new year and will continue to. And I'll see you next week.
All right. And Chantel.
Hey, we wrote a thing, so I can just read that. That's going to be great. I am an actor, a writer, a game designer, a streamer, and a psychologist. I have lots of names and lots of titles, and I'm keeping them all. I spend a lot of time on Twitter at Chantel B. I philosophize, and I write on my site. Philosophize is like I nerd out on about games that I play. On wordswithcolor.com. I'm currently recording a podcast for 2 new game systems. One of them is for Tom Fumo's Tesserae, and one is for Shrike Tabletop.
Thank you, GM.
And one is for Shrike Tabletop, and I am also one of the writers on Omens Rising, which is a game that hopefully will be launching this year. I also play in a fully cosplayed stream, The Falkenstein Affair, which is a thirsty game, bi-weekly at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/action_fiction. Bam. Bye.
Sam. Thank you, Sam. I'm glad you're looking out for me there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us for this week. I'm Michel Vaillancourt, your host and the Game Master of these amazing people. Thank you very much for joining us. We are Lost Words Archive. And yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully with working headphones and slightly less tech issues. We're going to actually, over the course of the week, try and switch over to Twitch's new tools and see if we can use those and they're a little less troublesome. Hopefully that works. We'll also, if all goes well, either way, have a brand new look for next week. And we may have a guest star next week. Please stay tuned. So yeah, lots coming. So officially, actually, when the group hits the Underveld, that will be the beginning of season 3. So we're going to be wrapping up real soon here on season 2. I'm anticipating. It's not going to be interminably long, but it is going to be a complete adventure. The trip to Dasseldorf via the Underveld. So I'm hoping that we're going to do some cool stuff there and learn a little bit about that whole world. I know the players absolutely adore their rock peeking and world digging. So yeah, you can catch up with me at MichelleV69 on Twitter, and you can also catch up with me at michellervalancourt.com on the web, where I talk about gaming and the various things stuff to keep in mind as a GM and how to run good games, because I treat GMing as a performance art. So, you want to deliver the best show you can. So all the best, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching us on the VOD, we appreciate that as well. Let your friends know about us, share the happy, and we'll catch you in a week's time. All the best. Bye-bye.